Tonight on Denver7 News at 6, a Colorado congressman calls on local law enforcement to investigate their own. The focus, where were you on January 6th?
For me to ask them to explain where they were at on their days off, I think is inappropriate.
Isolated incident? Not hardly.
I don't know what they're doing. I don't know what they're getting at here, but I just know that it's not right.
A Denver7 investigation has found multiple victims of predatory towing. Governor Polis promises action will be taken.
As you've exposed, this can be a racket.
Plus, what to know about the pop-up vaccine clinic coming to Aurora.
The state explains why it's taking so long to get seniors their shots.
And a first-hand account of an avalanche, as told by a man who survived one.
At that point, it released below me, and the whole slab started to go underneath me.
An Olympian, North Carolina police officers, and a West Virginia lawmaker were among the people who stormed the Capitol on Wednesday. Congressman Jason Crow wants to know if Colorado law enforcement was there as well. Good evening, and thanks for watching Denver7. I'm Ann Trujillo.
And I'm Shannon Ogden. In a letter, Crow writes that the reputation of honorable law enforcement must not be besmirched by the dereliction of duty of some. That letter was obtained exclusively by Chief Investigator Tony Kowaleski, who joins us this evening.
So, Tony, how are police chiefs and sheriffs taking the congressman's suggestion?
Yeah, good evening, Ann and Shannon. The now controversial letter went to every top cop and sheriff in Congressman Crow's 6th congressional district. Many wanting to know why a congressman wants an investigation without any evidence of wrongdoing and why he has targeted law enforcement.
It was pretty shocking.
Douglas County Sheriff Tony Spurlock.
I was surprised. Let me just say, I was surprised.
Reacting to this letter from Colorado Congressman Jason Crow.
Some of the words I've heard, this seems like a witch hunt. This seems like a target at specific people. I think that that's the wrong way to go about it.
The letter was written 4 days after last Wednesday's attack on our Capitol. Congressman Crow found himself in the middle of the chaos. This now iconic photo shows his concern. In this letter sent to the 9 law enforcement agencies in his district, the congressman specifically writes, I am requesting that all police and sheriff departments in Colorado's 6th congressional district conduct urgent personnel reviews to identify individuals in their departments that participated in the acts of insurrection.
This is not the right way. I totally realize that it's difficult for the FBI to conduct this investigation, and I can tell you right now, I'll cooperate 100% with the FBI to whatever we can do for anybody that's in my jurisdiction that participated in that criminal behavior. There's no evidence that my guys might have been there, guys and gals, and for me to ask them to explain where they were at on their days off, I think is inappropriate.
Spurlock says he's talked to many of the other law enforcement leaders who received the letter. He stresses none approve of the attack that took place at the Capitol last Wednesday. They simply are asking for tangible evidence that one or more of their employees was involved before they launch an inquiry or investigation. There is outrage from what happened last week, and there has been a call for accountability.
They were criminals. They were acting in criminal behavior, and it's inappropriate.
Essentially, it appears the letter's asking you to investigate your deputies. Will you send an email? Will you do as the congressman asked?
Okay, I will not send an email to my 672 employees and ask them, were you in D.C.? What were you doing on your days off? I will not do that. That's inappropriate.
And just within the hour, Sheriff Spurlock said he received a call from Congressman Crow, and he described it as a positive discussion and said the congressman now has asked for a meeting with the 9 police chiefs and sheriffs to chart out a course they can all agree to. Congressman Crow, within the last few minutes, sent this statement that included, I have spoken to and look forward to working with our district police chiefs and sheriffs in the days and weeks ahead to address the terror threat faced by our country. So both sides now talking. We will continue to follow. Shannon?
We know you will. Tony Kowaleski, thank you, Tony. The Department of Justice today said it anticipates hundreds of arrests over Wednesday's riots. Already 170 cases have been opened by the FBI.
Even if you've left D.C., agents from our local field offices will be knocking on your door if we find out that you were part of the criminal activity at the Capitol.
DOJ said today that trespassing, mail theft, theft of national security information, sedition, felony murder, and assault cases are all on the table. The agency called the range of charges unprecedented for any one event.
President Trump was in Texas today to sign a section of the border wall with Mexico. And earlier, he told a crowd of supporters that impeachment was dangerous and a continuation of the so-called witch hunt. He also claimed to have done nothing wrong on Wednesday.
If you read my speech, and many people have done it, and I've seen it both in the papers and in the media, on television, it's been analyzed, and people thought that what I said was totally appropriate.
A vote to impeach the president is expected tomorrow. Wyoming Congresswoman Liz Cheney is now among Republicans, joining Democrats in calling for his removal. And while he might not say it out loud, reporting from the New York Times indicates Senator Mitch McConnell believes President Trump committed impeachable offenses. The paper says McConnell is privately pleased Democrats are pursuing impeachment.
Lakewood police officers killed a man they say pointed a gun at them today. Those officers were originally called out over someone trying to break into cars at a Porsche repair shop on West Colfax. Well, they spotted the suspect a few minutes later. There was a chase, and police say the man aimed a gun in their direction and several officers fired, killing him.
Well, the state largely hoped that tow trucks would just take 2020 off. Instead, they appear to be busier than ever.
Last night, our Jacqueline Allen exposed a Denver company for bending, if not totally breaking, the rules. And this evening, she's asking the state what they're going to do about it.
In the video, my car is being dragged.
The screeching sound this car makes while being towed, like nails on a chalkboard, to teacher Karen Rager.
This is my parking spot where my car was towed.
Her car towed from her Lakewood condo complex last week because of expired plates, even though proof of current registration was clearly displayed on her dash.
I was frustrated, upset, because I felt like I had done everything the towing company had told me to do.
Because of DMV delays, the state has requested leniency for expired registration. But Contact Denver7 discovered tow companies wandering parking lots across the Denver metro looking for reasons to tow. Now, Governor Polis is taking action.
Would you consider placing restrictions on towing people because of expired plates?
Yeah, this should not be happening in Colorado. As you've exposed, this can be a racket. People have to pay hundreds of dollars just to get their car back. It's inappropriate, and we'll take whatever steps are necessary to make sure it doesn't occur in Colorado.
They said they weren't going to tow us, and they towed us.
Since Contact Denver7 started investigating, we've been inundated with similar stories, like Alec Duvall, towed while waiting for his DMV appointment. Should this be happening?
You know, I understand them needing to tow certain vehicles out of there that are causing a problem or something like that. I don't think if you have an expired tag or expired plate, you're not causing a problem.
Sometimes tow companies do back down. Wyatts is now offering $20 refunds for overcharging in the last month. Once Karen proved her registration was displayed, they didn't charge her to get her car back, but she says the damage was already done.
I had to take off time off of work to go get my car.
I'm Jacqueline Allen.
Now my car is being inspected for damage.
For Contact Denver7.
Governor Polis says the state is on track to have all Coloradans 70 and up vaccinated by the end of February. The governor says his team is prepared to accelerate the process, but they need some big things to happen first.
If, for instance, they release all the vaccine that's currently held federally to the states to administer, if there's another vaccine approved like Johnson & Johnson or AstraZeneca, if the Moderna dose is allowed to be split in half, allowing 22 instead of 11 doses from a vial. So there's a number of ifs. But right now, all we can count on is about 70,000 vaccines a week being distributed to Colorado.
The Trump White House announced today it will follow the Biden team's lead and no longer hold back second doses of the vaccine. Health and Human Services Secretary Alex Azar told Good Morning America today that manufacturing is now predictable enough to ensure second doses are available down the road.
Hundreds of Aurora seniors will receive their shots this week at a pop-up clinic. Denver7 Sloan Dickey explains how it works.
So I am Dr. Floyd, and you guys are all here for your COVID vaccine, yes? These seniors are about to receive their first COVID vaccine.
We are doing the Moderna COVID vaccine today.
The Salud Family Health Clinics across Colorado have vaccinated more than 4,400 senior Coloradans so far.
The first thing we did was reach out to all of our own patients and get them all scheduled. And then we've sort of opened things up to the community.
This week, Salud will open a temporary pop-up vaccine clinic in Aurora to vaccinate hundreds more in 2 days.
Where we are going to be partnering with UC Health, like Dr. Zane mentioned, on a clinic that we're going to be running on Thursday and Friday of this week. We'll have the capacity there to do 500 individuals over those 2 days.
In partnership with UC Health and the CDPHE, the temporary clinic on Thursday and Friday will make those 500 doses available to anyone over the age of 70 who signs up on their website, saludclinic.org.
It's a great model of how healthcare systems can work together to get our community members vaccinated.
The initiative is part of a broader effort to get the vaccine to underserved communities in the state, including information campaigns and a mobile health unit that will administer the vaccine to migrant communities in rural Colorado.
Right now, the important thing is to get everybody vaccinated. I think that's the only way that we've discovered we're going to be able to control the COVID-19.
Vaccines for everyone.
And as many vaccines as we get, we will put into arms.
No matter their circumstances in Colorado. Sloan Dickey, Denver7.
1,500 cases of coronavirus were reported in Colorado today. Another 98 people have died. More than 1,100 of the 4,100 deaths reported to date occurred in the last month.
Coming up, nowhere to run.
Nowhere to hide.
I'm alive, buddy!